Good morning, everybody. Keller Williams, what's happening? Lovely to see all of you. Who do we got here? I see Suhey, I see Bella and Bob and Brooke and Christian and Crystal and Jackie. Jason, Jen, how you doing? Kimberly, Mario, Melanie, Michael, Navy, Nicole, Teresa, lovely to see you all. I see a couple of iPhones. I see 981. That must be our Cerritos crew representing. Good to have all of you today. We are going to launch into Ignite. I'll tell you a little bit about Ignite. This is 2.0. They've been revising this for quite some time. They released it earlier this year after, a solid core course of Ignite 1.0 that we've had for a very long time. Ignite is, is designed to really lay the groundwork of what it looks like to produce real estate at a high level. Building a business, there are fundamental principles and ideas, and then there's action, there's work involved here. So every day we'll talk about what are you supposed to be doing in your business on a day-to-day basis. So I'm excited. We're going to get into it. We got a lot to go through. A couple of just rules. Love to see your faces smiling and happy, and I love to have participation. So from time to time, I'm going to ask you guys to unmute. I'm going to ask you guys to answer some questions and be willing to share ahas. We'll end with ahas every day that we meet. The Ignite class is an 18-session course. So this is going to be 3 days a week for the next 6 weeks, okay? And we are recording them, but you just don't get the same participation and interaction when you go back and watch a recording. You want to be here so you can ask questions and interact. It's proven that the more you interact, the more you retain, okay? So, it's important to, be a part of that. Tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Nick. I'm hosting today. We have 3 instructors. All of them are productivity coaches for our Long Beach, La Mirada, and Cerritos offices. So myself, Eddie Habash, and Susie Cabrera will be coordinating to teach all these. I'll be doing this week, today and Friday. Eddie will be jumping on Thursday. I've been in the business for a little over 20 years. I just got an email. It says my license expires next month, so I better take care of that pretty quick, right? Otherwise, we might be having some problems. Just kidding. We're all good. I got started at, I was literally just working the phones at a real estate company in the evenings and going through school at Cal State Long Beach. And they used to call me Nick at Night because I would come in the nighttime and answer the phones for the office and do admin work and all that good stuff. And that turned into getting a real estate license. That turned into meeting a broker mentor that took me to another office that was a brand new office that she had put together. And spent the first 10 years there at the local Century 21, still here in Long Beach. And, I learned a good amount, and then ultimately got recruited to go to an independent brokerage here in Long Beach as well, called Doma, who is no longer around. When I left, they sold to a company, Engel and Volkers. That's something you may have heard of. I got recruited to that company because they were all new home sales and adaptive reuse and institutional type construction projects, and they didn't know how to sell an actual resale house. And so I came in to recruit for them and build a resale division. And a lot of our top producers in the Long Beach office actually got started with us there at Doma. And then in 2016, I got recruited to KW, where we are today, right? So it's been about a little over 4 years now. I got recruited to come over as a productivity coach, and that's what I still get the honor of doing in Long Beach today. I started as a productivity coach in Cerritos, and then became the productivity coach for Cerritos and La Mirada, and ultimately became the broker for all 3 offices, and then ended up moving to the PC role here in Long Beach. So many of you I have the pleasure of working with on a weekly basis. And, I'm all about growth and success and helping and coming from contribution. I want to see you guys all do well. I take this super serious, so I hope that you'll take it serious as well. Because Keller Williams has got an incredible curriculum. I told the guy that recruited me, Josh, when I came to KW, I learned more about real estate in a month than I had in literally like 18 years of real estate. And really, it all stemmed from this book right here. Hopefully, you all have got a copy of this, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It doesn't explicitly say this necessarily in our homework, but you should be reading, 10, 20 pages a day out of that book and make sure you master it. It's not just a story. It's a manual on how to net $1 million a year through real estate. That sounds like a pretty good book, right? So yes, get a hard copy, make sure you have your highlighter. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. I'm looking forward to helping you guys through this process. You all know how to reach me if you have questions outside the hours of our class, okay? So Ignite is split into 2 courses or 2 sections, Spark and Elementals. So the first 9 will be Spark, the second 9 will be Elementals. The first 9 is basically kind of the overview theory of selling real estate, and then the second 9 will be more nitty gritty, hands-on, actually doing the work. We're going to be looking at Command a lot, so be ready to be able to log into Command, and I'm going to show you hands-on, including today. We're going to look at some of the basics of Command. So Command is really the wave of real estate for us. It's a platform built by a real estate company, which doesn't exist elsewhere. Everybody else just buys technology from other vendors. And it's going to be a big part of your businesses. So if you have these limiting beliefs around not being good with technology, well, I will tell you to practice the 3 letters, GOI. Who knows what GOI stands for? It stands for get over it. Get over it, right? If you think you're bad with tech, get over it. You got to learn it. You all have smartphones, right? And you know how to use them. You can get onto Facebook. You can use Command, all right? So no excuses, all right? Cool. So we're going to talk about core activities, habits that you're going to use for your entire career. We're going to look at, your appointments and the successes that you have through appointments. We're going to look at tech. We're going to look at a lot of stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into our materials, and we're going to start with our big why. So I'm going to ask you guys this question. Why do you want to become a real estate agent, or why did you become a real estate agent? What are your hopes and goals through real estate? And I want you just to take a moment, right? We're going to take maybe 2 minutes, and I want you guys to just envision your ideal life. Envision your ideal life, and don't put any limits on it. Every time I meet with a new agent and I ask how much money do you want to make, one of the first things I hear is, well, if I had to be realistic about it, right? I don't want to hear about realistic. I want to hear about what you really want. What is your vision for your life? What are you doing for the people that surround you and you care about? What do you want to support? Internal and external, your family, your charities, right? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you better? Okay. So as you think about that, I want you to understand it's super important to really establish mindset goals from the very beginning. I always say that if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So we need to have a clear understanding of where we're going, why you want what it is that you want. And I'll tell you why. Is because the days that suck, right, in real estate, when you get beat up and you get a lot of no's or you have a deal fall apart, I can tell you some crazy stories. Trust me. The days that suck are the days where you're going to be able to look back and say, this is what I want to accomplish. This is what I am looking to do. Okay. So there will be ins and outs, and that's okay, right? That's okay. So understanding your goals, where you want to go, super, super important. As we approach the end of the year, we'll definitely be doing some more goal setting workshop. I think in October, we're going to be doing a business planning clinic with a KW Maps coach that we'll host via Zoom. So, has anyone ever heard of a limiting belief? Has anyone heard that term before, limiting belief? So, I see, Suhei, I'm going to call on you because I saw you nod your head yes. How would you describe that?
Something that prevents you from doing something you should do or that would be good for you.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. A limiting belief is a way of thinking that holds you back from success, a la action, right? So, again, I'll say it again. A limiting belief is a way of thinking that holds you back from success or taking action. As we go through Ignite, you might catch yourself thinking things like, oh, I don't know, I don't have time to prospect 3 hours a day. Or I don't know how to sell a house, therefore I can't call people yet because I'm not valid or credible. I don't know what I'm doing, right? These are limiting beliefs. As you catch these, it's important to brainstorm with people that are close to you, people in the course right here. So that way, you can challenge yourself and realize that there's ways to change your thinking, right? Our brains affect our actions. And if we have limiting beliefs, it's going to be real tough to break through and have massive amounts of success. Okay. Henry Ford has a famous quote. It says, whether you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you are right. You are absolutely right. Okay. So there's no reason to not believe that you can absolutely have a high level of success in real estate. Henry Ford knew that mindset is one of the factors that determines your success. And as you go through Ignite, we're going to look for ways that you're limiting your own success and remove those barriers that you're putting in your own way, right? So we're going to connect the goals, your big why, to push through and achieve your goals, okay? All right, moving on. What successful agents do every day? If you look on the slides here, on the left side, we have grow your business. On the right side, we have run your business. And this is on page 4 of your manuals. If you guys have your student manual, go ahead and pull that up and take a look. You'll see me kind of randomly staring around the screen from time to time, so I'm moving windows around to find all this stuff too. All righty, perfect. So again, grow versus run your business. So here's the secret to being successful in real estate. There is no secret. We always say that success leaves clues. So we know exactly what successful agents do every day. Every day, agents do 2 types of activities. They grow their business and they run their business. These are the activities that will help you achieve your big why. Every time you do any of them, know that you're doing it to achieve the life that you want, okay? So let's look at the left hand side. Grow your business. Lead generate for buyers and sellers. Number 2 and number 3, appointments, buyer and seller appointments. And then number 4, looking at real estate, right? That's growing our business. On the right side, run your business, marketing, showing property, negotiate contracts, transaction coordinating and contract to close, vendor management, setting goals, compliance, risk management, trainings, coaching, managing money, profit and loss, etc. I'll tell you, again, there is no secret part of this. If you don't do what's on the left side, you don't get to do what's on the right side, if that makes sense. If you don't do the grow your business aspect of this, there's no business to run. There's no business to run, right? And the number one thing that it starts off with here is lead generating and following up on those leads, okay? So the goal of our time here is to model what successful agents do every day. I'm not going to make it up and just tell you what I did. I'm going to tell you what all top producers do as a conglomerate, and that's what we're going to focus on in terms of our Ignite class here, okay? All right, let's keep going. So on our next slide, this is basically our overview for the day. We're going to talk a little bit about Spark. We're going to talk about your SOI. We're going to talk about the tools that you have at your disposal. We're going to prepare for success. We're going to recap, and we'll talk a little bit more about daily success habits, which include things like database, script practice, lead gen, contracts, etc. Okay, so welcome. And I believe we've got a video. Let's see if we can pull this off here. Let me know if you can hear that. Thumbs up if you can hear
Gary Keller. This course will allow you to get off to a fast start you can build on. Because if you repeated the principles every 90 days for a year, believe me, you have an awesome first year.
By the way, I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to ask for you to take notes on what Gary's going to talk about right now. And then I'm going to call on you to participate and tell me what you heard. So be ready for that.
And just as important, you would have built the foundation and momentum for your entire career. It is practical, realistic, and easy to apply. It's about the fundamentals that determine your level of success in the business of real estate. From our research with top agents, we have found that they too started their careers with these fundamentals, and they continue to do them along with their teams to this very day. And it's not hard. It just requires a little focused effort, a few hours every day. Now, there is really just one way to achieve the goal. It's lead generation. Other skills are important, yet without leads to work with, your skills won't mean a thing. Dealing with business never takes precedence over what? Finding business. Never. Research shows that top producing agents make lead generation their #1 priority and the one thing they make sure they always get done. You can do this. And when you do, you will get the leads, the relationships, the experiences, the career, and the income that you want and deserve. Go get them, and good luck.
Thank you, Gary. I don't know if anyone caught Mega Camp, but that's our, CEO and founder, and all around pretty smart dude, right? So what did you hear? Unmute yourself and tell me something that you heard on that video.
Hey, Nick.
Yo, what's up, Jason?
Hi. Well, I mean, flat out, he said it. Lead gen is #1. Without leads, there is no business to run.
There you go.
I thought there was a little bit more to it, but kept it pretty simple for the, for the smart guys in the room.
Yep. I'll tell you, Gary's a pretty smart dude, and he's a pretty simple guy as well. There is only one thing, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. And I'll give you guys another little hint about Ignite. If I ask you guys a question, 99% of the time, the answer will be lead generation. So be ready for that. That's just the bottom line. Okay. So yeah, you nailed it. Anyone else hear anything different on there?
Nick, he also mentioned at the beginning every 90 days. So it's kind of like repeating the cycle every 90 days. I don't know what that looks like yet, but that's one thing.
Yeah, I love it. Real estate operates basically on a 90-day sales cycle, meaning the day you find a lead, 90 days down the road is about the time frame you can expect to, be opening or closing an escrow. So there is a cycle to that. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we start and stop every 90 days, but it is important to understand that every day you don't work is a day that you won't get paid 90 days from now, right? Every day you don't do your lead generation, prospect for new business, 90 days down the road, you're not going to be opening or closing an escrow, right? So just think about that sales cycle. And we have some tools around that too, which I'll talk about in another class, actually. All right, let's keep going. So we don't need to see Gary again. There we go. All right, so nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads that you have. The number of leads that you have, right? From time to time, I will talk to an agent and they will tell me about the lead they are working on, which scares me because when there's one lead, right, I know that your long-term success is going to be a challenge because we need to have multiple leads because they're not all going to convert, right? They don't all turn over. They don't all buy and sell. We need to have a ton of leads and prospects and people in our database, okay? So, always be thinking in plural. Let's see here. All right, let's keep going. So I thought it was pretty powerful in the video too. He said that your skills don't mean anything without leads to use them on, right? You could be a master negotiator, right? You could be the best contract to close. You could give the best customer service, all these skills, but without people to practice on, right? Real estate's a practice. Then what's it worth? What's it worth? What's the talent worth? The talent goes wasted if you don't have people to actually work with to buy and sell homes. All right. So as I said, Ignite is going to be a 6-week course, help build the foundations of success. We're going to talk about daily success habits. And that's going to help us, create meaningful relationships with clients. And then we'll move into the elementals portion of the class to help talking about getting the actual appointments and converting. So I want to talk a little bit about the next portion of this, which is going to be our sphere of influence in our database. So the National Association of Realtors tells us that 66% of sellers find their agent through a friend. 66%, they got a referral, okay? And 41% of buyers find an agent through a friend. So there's an aha there in that when you call and prospect and check in on your sphere of influence, remember, you're not just looking for deals within your own sphere, but you're looking to create referral opportunities as well. That's a pretty large percentage, okay? So I want you guys to do an exercise with me right now. I want you all to grab your phones. Grab your phones. Some of you have done this already. Get your phone. I want you to go to the contacts screen of your phone. And I want you to scroll all the way to the very bottom. And at the very bottom, it should tell you how many contacts you have in your phone. You guys see that? Go ahead and drop in the chat the number of contacts that you have in your phone, please. Thank you, Mario. Keep dropping them in, peeps. All right, all right. Ooh, Brooke in the 4 figures. All right. Anyone else? Anyone got higher than 17? So as you're doing this, guys, the next part of this exercise, I want you to take your number, take the number in your phone, and I want you to multiply it times 0.06. Take your number, multiply it times 0.06. Anyone want to guess what that number represents? Okay, how many sales, right? So I'll say it in a different way. That number is the average number of real estate actions that will be happening in the next 12 months within your sphere. Okay, so a real estate action, somebody buying a home, selling a home, renting a home, or just basically somebody moving that you get to help, right? So a real estate action is somebody, you know, making a move at some level. It may be a buy, it may be a sell, or it may be a rent, whatever it is, or an investment, right? Or whatever that might look like, okay? So here's the next part of this. Take the number, that number that you just got, right? Your real estate actions number, and let's just have a little fun. Why don't you multiply that times your average commission? And if you don't know what your average commission is, let's just multiply it times 15 grand. Does that excite anybody besides myself? All right, there we go. Thank you. So this is the potential income that could exist in your database, right? That could exist in your database. I'd call that pretty exciting, okay? So, and remember, folks, that's just with the people you already have in your phone, right? That's not new people you're gonna meet or other prospecting methods. These are just your METs, right? We have METs and we have haven't METs. So we're gonna add to that database consistently, and we'll talk a lot more about that through Ignite as well. So when we start building a database, right, it makes sense to start with our sphere of influence. So we're going to talk about sphere, and we're going to practice and talk about what it looks like to reconnect with some of our sphere of influence. Okay. So your sphere, people you have met in one way, shape, or form, and I would define a person in your sphere as somebody that you have a two-way communication with, meaning if you reach out, they will respond, right? If you reach out and nobody responds, like a lead, that's a one-way communication, right? That may be a contact, but it's not like a sphere or a prospect or a lead. So to be considered a sphere, it has to be someone that you're having a two-way communication with, back and forth, okay? So your sphere, the people that you've met, you're having the two-way conversations with, they already know who you are, they trust you, and they respect you, okay? And therefore, they're likely to be willing to help you and also to work with you. You know, there's a simple truth in real estate. People like to do business with those they know, trust, and respect, okay? So when you have that reciprocal communication and they know, like, and trust you, the likelihood of them using you to conduct real estate transactions is very, very high. So, you know, the contacts in your phone is the basis of your database, the basis of your sphere of influence. Yes, sir.
Could you repeat that last little bit? No trust and respect.
No trust and respect. No trust and like. Yeah, people will do business with people they know, like, trust, and respect. So if people in your phone don't like you, well, then you're going to be out of business, right? Probably not the case, though. I think you'll be all right. All right. So, and I think you would all agree, right? Wouldn't you prefer to do business with somebody that you trust, that you know already, right? Especially think about this. Think about what's at stake to buy or sell a house, right? $500,000, $1 million in real estate, a lot of cash, right? And then you got a house that needs, repairs, negotiated, et cetera, et cetera. Wouldn't you rather have somebody that you know on your side through that process, or would you rather go do that process with a stranger, right? So think about that for your own database. And many of you, again, are going to have this limiting belief of, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to sell a house, right? Well, guess what? You don't have to know everything. You have to be professional. You have to be professional. And a professional knows where their resources are, right? You're looking at one of them. You have team leaders, you have a broker, you have coaches, you have an agent leadership council. All these people are here to assist you in your business, right? So you don't have to know everything. I don't know everything, right? I'm talking to attorneys, probably every other day asking questions because I'm still trying to, better my knowledge, and scenarios come up all the time, right? So I know I just have to be professional and not know the answer to everything. If I don't, I have to know where to get it. And that's what you guys have to be, right? So people are going to work with you because they know, like, and trust you, right? So we talked earlier about the NAR statistics. 66% of sellers found their agent through a friend. 41% of buyers did the same. So here's the next question. Who do you know that is going through a life change? Who do you know that is going through a life change? And is it possible that they could use your help? Think about all the major life events that people have, right? They get married, they get divorced, they have kids that move out, right? They have kids, they have deaths in the family. There's all kinds of things that happen. Job gain, job loss, raises, moving to a new location, reloads, et cetera, et cetera. All these things are triggers for people that may need your help at some capacity. It's not always buying or selling. They may just need some help in another way, right? Now, here's another fact that we know. It costs nothing to call people you already know, right? It costs nothing to call the people that you already know. Since you already know them, it requires fewer touches and less effort to get them to want to help you by giving you their business or referring friends and family, right? People you haven't already met are going to take a lot more time to convert because you got to convince them and basically prove the trust, prove the respect, prove the fact that you guys like each other and want to work together, okay? And I do want you to understand your sphere of influence is more than just your friends and family. So if you guys want to go and turn to page 7 in your manual, we can take a look at what a sphere of influence actually looks like here. So you can see that, yeah, right at the top, we have the basics, friend and family. And then we have number 3, anyone you've done business with or has done business with you in or out of real estate, right? Many of you are coming from another career. You have a lot of contacts from those businesses and you've done business together. Therefore, the people that you've done business, even within other industries, know that you can get the job done in that industry. So they'll probably trust you in this industry, right? And then we've got parents of a friend or a child. Then we have contacts that you've generated by going about your real estate business on a day-to-day basis. And then people in your community associations, religion, other things that you are passionate about, your hobbies, et cetera. All the things that you engage with are, opportunities to meet new people, right? So the question is, who do you know that is going through a life event that might need to move? So take a minute and write down. Can you think of any names of people that are going through some sort of a life event? Having kids off to college, getting married, getting divorced, all those life events. What does that look like? Right? Can you think of anybody that's going through these life events? Here's another really good question. Think about that number you wrote for the contacts in your phone. How many of them do not yet know that you are a real estate agent? How many people in your phone don't even know that this is what you do, right? here's a limiting belief that might not sound limiting. Maybe you posted on Facebook that you started in real estate. Does that mean they know you're a real estate agent? Or are we just assuming that Facebook did the job for us and they all saw it and they all remembered it and they wrote it down on their phone as you as a real estate agent, right? Probably not good enough, okay? Here's another good question. All the contacts in your phone, who have you not spoken to in the last month? How many of the people in your phone have you not spoken to in the last 30 days? My guess is it's probably most of them, right? There's an area of opportunity for us right there, calling through the sphere. Let's take a look at what we call the waves of moving. So on the slide here, staying in touch with our sphere, you see these waves, the likelihood of a move. So this is on page 8 in your manual, if you want to take a look and follow along. Start with our sphere. So the average person is going to move every 8 to 10 years. Okay, so right after a move, the likelihood that they will want to move again is at its lowest point, right? That makes sense, right? Somebody buys a house, the odds of them moving are going to be the lowest the day after they move in, right? And then over time, they start moving up these waves, right? So over time, they begin to be more likely to look at buying, selling, or moving. The peaks of the waves are a moment a person moves. So at the very top of these little waves here, that's when somebody makes a move. We know right after that, they move into a trough. And then as time goes on, you know, that tension builds up of when they might make a move again. So I want you to guys in your manuals or wherever you're taking notes, I want you to write down maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people that you can think of in your sphere. And I want you to put them in the various waves here, right? I want you to write somebody that you know just moved, put them at a peak. And then I want you to think of anyone that you might know that hasn't moved in a very long time, put them in the trough. Or maybe somebody that moved 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe they're moving up. Maybe they're moving up. So just write the name and write where they are. This is what we call, by the way, a model, right? We're looking at a model of how people, the timing at which people decide to make a move over the course of their life. So here's a good question. How would you feel if your friends only called you if they wanted something from you? That feel pretty good? Probably not, right? So with that in mind, we need to be calling people all the time to show that we care about them. Not just like, hey, looks like you haven't moved in 7 years and I wanted to reconnect because maybe it's time for you to move, right? That's not a good, fun conversation. And the tendency, if we look at these waves, is that people will call all along the upward, you know, trend of the wave. And then most agents don't call during all this time when they're least likely to move. We lose sight of checking in on our people, especially, you know, our past clients. For whatever reason, a lot of agents don't call their past clients. And the worst thing that I've ever experienced is driving by a house I sold to somebody and seeing somebody else's sign in the yard, right? So you're going to start to see that with our database and our sphere, it's important to have a consistent communication with everybody, because the truth is, you're not going to know when someone decides to buy or sell a house. You're never going to know that. The only way you'll be able to capture that business is if you have just contacted them or you're just about to contact them in some fashion. So consistent communication is crucial in this business, okay? All right, so we want to stay top of mind as a realtor of choice consistently. So when they do make that decision, you're the first call, okay? If you don't talk to them for years, they're not going to be thinking to you about real estate. So why would they ever call you, right? Even if a person has just bought or sold a home, stay in touch so they know you're a real estate agent. And also remember, we're not just looking for each of their pieces of business. We're looking for their referrals as well, right? So we talk a lot about mind share and positioning. It's all about you staying in touch and in front of people, reminding them who you are and what you do. So when those referral opportunities come up, boom, you're right there. You're right there. Okay. So I want to basically just remind you guys, should all probably know this by now. Many of you have seen this, maybe not all of you, but many of you have seen this. Don't fear the sphere. Practice the Ford method. So if you haven't heard of Ford, this is our conversation model. This is another model about conversations: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So here's where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where we actually pick up the phone and check in on people. Where in the Ford model does it say for you to talk about real estate? Anybody?
It doesn't.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, right? We ask them about their occupation. And what normally happens is normal humans will then ask you about your job, and then you have permission to talk about real estate. But this is a care call. This is a check-in. This is what normal people do to people they care about and to build trust and build relationships, right? How's the family? How's the job? How's fun? How's that big goal of yours going, right? So using that Ford method is a tool that helps you remember all the different things that you should be checking in on your people about. And really, if you think about it, a lot of these can be areas of opportunity for reasons they may want to move, right? Expanding or shrinking family, right? Job growth, job decline, new interests in recreation, maybe out-of-state investments, right? And then the big goals, dreams, retirement, funding something, right? College educations, that kind of stuff, okay? So I have a question, and I really want you guys to chime in here. What fears or hesitations do you have about calling your sphere? Because I know you got them. I know you got them.
Like the fact that if you try to call them and they're like, I haven't heard from you in years, why are you calling me now?
Oh man, that is a good one, right? The fact that we haven't talked to them in such a long time, and here we are calling them thinking we're asking for business, right? So what else? What else? I'm going to write that down so we can talk about that. What are some other your fears? I got all day, guys.
Maybe that we're bothering them, and well, that's my fear, is maybe bothering them while they're doing their work. And
I think we got it. Cool. Bothering them. We're getting, we're not, being authentic, and we're just getting in the way of at some level. What else? What else, guys? I know you guys got oh boy.
The fear of sounding stupid.
I think I heard the fear of sounding
pretty bad.
What you're talking about.
So I think I heard the fear of sounding stupid. Is that sounds valid to me, right? So I'm going to write that down. And the reason I ask these questions, guys, is because I know you all have these limiting beliefs. I know you all have these belief systems in your mind. You're telling yourself, I haven't talked to this person in 5 years, and now I'm going to call.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Right? Yeah. And so, with that, they're thinking, like, your brains are saying, why should I call? They're going to think I just want something from them, right? Or then we think about you're bothering them, or we don't know what we're supposed to say when we make the call, right? So we have all these limiting beliefs around this. Guys, look at the slide. Look at the slide. It's a check-in, right? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When you call and you go through this model here, and you show them that you're interested in them, that goes a long way. That's how you build a relationship, right? Many agents come in and they're very transactional. They just bang a deal out, never talk to the person again. The top producers are very relational, right? Relationship based. So they check in on the family. They check in on seeing how their job is going. They ask what they've been doing for fun. They ask about the big dreams. And, you know, I say this all the time. If COVID has given us nothing else, it's certainly given us something to talk about, right? So many of you don't even know real estate outside of COVID, right? You know, all you know is sitting behind a computer screen on Zoom and making phone calls, right? So you're kind of lucky in that regard. Prior to all this, these calls were slightly harder because you didn't have that, you know, that global pandemic going on that you could just easily bring up and have something to talk about. So definitely gives us a great opportunity to just show that you care about people, right? I'll say it again. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So start your calls by asking how their family is. How's mom and dad? How's the kids? How's brother and sister? What's going on at work? Listen for warning signs, guys, for work. Are they working? Are they working from home? Are they furloughed, right? How's the company they're working for doing? And then move into the fun. What have you been doing for fun? How are you staying sane? Are you getting out, right? Have you eaten out anywhere, right? It's kind of funny we're asking these types of questions, but hey, it is what it is, right? And then the dreams. What's going on with your big goal? You said you wanted to retire in 5 years. Are you on track for that? And then take notes so you can remember and bring this stuff up next time you call. And, you know, things are moving so fast in our economy and with the coronavirus that you're going to be calling these people, you know, every 30 days, basically. Okay. So I've had this discussion with most of you about Ford. If you haven't seen it, now you have the model. And if you go to, let's see, page number 10, you'll see a script. Okay. And the script is an opportunity for you guys to do some role play, right? So it's a, hey, this is Nick. How you been? How's the family? Are you still working at blank? Are you still enjoying blank? And did you ever pursue that big dream, right? And then you can bring up real estate. And like I said, most of the time, they're going to bring up real estate themselves. They're going to ask you, how are you doing, right? And I want you guys to be ready to speak with power and confidence and tell them that I am so blessed because coronavirus has given me the opportunity to go full bore into my real estate career. And I feel very fortunate with that. And actually, I'm with KW, and I know you'd be willing to help me grow my business. Can I count on you for support? And they'll say, of course. Great. Well, hey, do you mind if I send my app over to you? Right? You can keep up to date with the local market. Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. And I'd love to send you some stuff about your own neighborhood. Are you still living over in blank neighborhood? Oh, or gosh, I just realized I don't have your address. Let me have your address so I can send you some local real estate information. Cool. And while I'm writing that, what's your email? Right? I'm building my business on people I know and the people they know. Is there anyone that you might know of at your work, in your area, any of your friend groups that might be thinking of moving? Please think of me. Please think of me. Okay. So this script right here is designed for you guys to have that care call, introduce the idea of real estate, get your app pushed into people's phones, and then get them into command on neighborhood alerts. And I'm going to show you a little bit about that today. We're going to look at command. We're going to look at neighborhood alerts and adding contacts. Okay. So we've got the script. It's up to you to execute and do it, right? I can't make you do it. It's on you. You guys got to do the work. Everything that you ever want to achieve in life is available to you through real estate, but you got to do the work. You got to do the heavy lifting. Lead generation. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's keep going. Let's move on. Let's start talking about some of the tools that are available at your disposal. Okay. So this diagram, I remember when Gary drew this at Mega Camp maybe 2 years ago. This is kind of the wave of where Keller Williams is going in terms of a real estate technology company. Okay. And basically, what you see here is the overall basis of what a platform in real estate looks like. And it starts with right here, data. Starts with data, right? So our job as agents is to collect data from all the people that we know. And you're going to pump all that into command through the Keller Cloud. And the offices are all dumping all their data into the cloud as well, right? And through all that, we're going to start learning a lot of information about the people that we know, trends moving, you know, referral patterns, how long people live in their homes, average prices, average offer prices, time on market, et cetera, some of the stuff that we already know, but it's going to be way more specific to us, and it's going to be very localized. So we collect data. The data goes into the cloud. And then Kelly, right, our Kelly app is our artificial intelligence. It's like Siri or your other smart devices, right? And the way Kelly interacts with us is right here, right in the middle, command, right? Command. And command connects you as a virtual agent, physically enhanced, virtual based, physically enhanced. And with our virtual agent, we tie into the virtual consumer, right? All your people with what we call lead accelerators, right? This is going to be things like smart plans, designs, Facebook ads, direct mail campaigns to connect with consumers, get them plugged into our app and your website, right? And the process goes backwards as well to the market center and the command for market centers, where we track and monitor all your closings and income and so on and so forth, right? And then we have our ancillary services, Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered, Keller Offers, Keller Manage, and then we can tie in other programs as well. So this is like the broader overview. For the most part, some of this may not make a lot of sense to you guys, but I want you just to see that the data in command is how you connect to your consumers, and it also gives you channels to acquire more business through, again, smart plans, drip campaigns, etc. Okay, so this is like our vision, and I'm gonna just guess that almost everybody on here is using a cloud service already right now, right? Whether that's iCloud or Google-based services, Drive, Gmail, right? So we're all kind of using cloud and big data and artificial intelligence at some level, right? Like, does anybody's phone, light up and say, "Oh, it's time to leave," to get you to your next appointment, right? It'll tell you these things based on artificial intelligence making assumptions. Kelly's going to be doing that with you as well, sooner than later, okay? So Command is our major piece of technology. It's an integrated end-to-end platform. It contains all your business critical applets for running and growing your business. Again, for those of you that say, "I'm not tech savvy," GOI, everybody, get over it. You are now, right? You got no choice. You have no choice. You are going to be tech savvy. So we're going to look at Command significantly. Let me see. I think we'll do that now. Let's go ahead and let me just look real quick. Okay, let's take a look at Jump into Command right now, guys. Okay, I'm going to do a new share. I'm going to get to Chrome. Here we are. So welcome to Command. Yours will look a little different than mine because you guys can customize all this, right? Look at the top right, customize home. I want to point out, when you click on your name and you go to settings, you're going to be able to go in to, let's see, sorry, I got to move a few windows around. Which settings am I looking at? Not general, not command. Connect settings. Okay, you guys want to get into Connect settings and you want to set up your marketing profile. Okay, so here's where you're going to go in there and put in your photo. If you have a team logo, fill in your contact information. You can get the office logos, etc., from our market center administrators, and that's where you're going to begin your command. And all you got to do is click right here at the top, Marketing Profile Kelly Guide. Okay, Marketing Profile Kelly Guide. That's going to walk you through from A to Z how to set up your marketing profile. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, you know what? I didn't tell all of you this. I do have some people asking for the actual packet. So the manual we're looking at, I'm going to drop in. Hold on one second. I just assumed you all have this, but if you don't. Okay, I just uploaded the manual. So sorry if you weren't, if you didn't have that already. I'll be dropping a few things in the links as we move forward here, okay? So, all right. So again, under your name, settings, connect settings, marketing profile, and then follow the Kelly guide to upload all your logos and your pictures and all that stuff, okay? When you're done with that, we'll go back to your home screen. And I just wanted to show you real simply how to add a contact, okay? So if you click the little KW, it tells you all the different little applets that we got. We're gonna focus on contacts right now, real simple. Contacts, and then in the top right, I have two options. I can either import or I can add. Okay, so I'm gonna add a contact right now. And I'll add me, another version of me. I always recommend you guys add yourself because you can practice setting yourself up on drip campaigns in the smart plans. Okay, and there's a lot of cool stuff that just came out from Mega Camp with smart plans as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my email in there. And I'm gonna put my phone number in here. Right, and then I can make it a lead. I can add it to a sales pipeline if I'm entering an actual escrow here. I can create tags. There's a whole bunch of information about tags that you can add or create. And then right here, it says add more information, right? So I'm gonna add information and I'm gonna go to additional contact information. And I'm going to add my address. It'll find it just based on Google, right? And I'm done. And I'm gonna hit create. I can add social media profiles. I can add all kinds of stuff. I wanted to show you though, adding the address in is incredibly important because once you put the address, let's just go take a look and find me. See this? It automatically assigned me to a neighborhood in Command. It automatically assigned me to a neighborhood. So all I need to do now, since I have an email, since I have the address, it'll even recommend local other neighborhoods to assign. But now I can automatically just put them on a smart plan to get a twice a month email with information about their neighborhood, right? It's that easy. Most of you that I've talked to regarding coaching, when I tell you to do your care calls, I tell you to do the forward script, and then I always remind you, make sure you get their home address or cross streets or neighborhood and an email address, right? Because without all that, you don't have enough information to be able to talk to them, right? In all the different channels. It's one thing to call, it's one thing to text, but we need to be able to email, we need to be able to send cards and do direct mail with them as well, okay? So pretty cool. It automatically assigns them a neighborhood once you have the address. I can then go ahead and add some of these other areas all around as well by clicking on the links, and I'm good to go there, okay? So, right, so now you can see that I have a couple of other neighborhoods assigned up here as well. And so every time they get the email, it'll have those neighborhoods assigned, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Anybody have any questions about the neighborhoods there?
Hey, Nick.
Yes.
Are we able to draw on the map, or do you have to like individually select neighborhoods?
That's a good question. Right now, it is all based on specific neighborhoods. I know they're going to get into zip codes, and maybe at some point you'll be able to draw, but not on this one. Now, if they want to do a home search through your website, they can draw a search that way.
Got it. Thanks.
And I'll show you, if you guys don't have the address when you add a contact and you need to add an address at a later time, you just go into their contact record and you click the add neighborhood. I'll say allow. It's going to say find on map or search. I always do the find on map. It's really easy, right? And as I shrink into Long Beach here, you'll see these little blue outlines. These are all the different neighborhoods that you can start assigning to. And I can just click them, right? I'm going to do that one, 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 and that one. Boom, done. Let's do more. Why not? Just for fun. Okay, and then I'll hit save, and now you see all these different little neighborhoods have been assigned. And so when they get their email drip, it will send them links to properties in all those different areas. Okay. Another thing I want you guys to see. You notice on the right side, look, this timeline is keeping track. It tells us when we subscribe to a neighborhood. So if your client does it on their own, you'll see that. If they click on a property and check out a link to a listing, you're going to see it in your activity timeline. Okay. So another thing I want you guys to note, as you're making your calls and you're talking to people and doing the Ford script and you get information about them, you want to go up here to the right. And I want you to see this add activity link, add activity. You're going to want to go in, you're going to want to note that you made a call, and you're going to want to say what you talked about. So you're going to say, you know, spoke about COVID. They're doing fine. Thinking about moving to, I don't know, Nebraska next year, and whatever you want to put, right? And then I can hit save. And now you're going to start keeping track of all your notes, right? And now let's say I want to put them on a drip. I would then go to Smart Plans right here. I would then add them to a Smart Plan, and I would go find my bi-weekly neighborhood, which is basically an email every other week that will send them a link to all those little neighborhoods, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select that one. I'm going to start it right now. I hit confirm and boom, I'm done, right? I'm done. It does talk about Twilio. We'll get into Twilio a little bit later. That's for text messages. But in this case, this is only email based for this specific one. So I'm going to hit confirm. And guess what? I have been assigned to a Smart Plan now, right? Smart Plan subscribed. I'll get my first email sometime later today. Okay, so that's how you add a contact, assign them to a neighborhood, and get them hooked up on a twice a month Smart Plan. Okay. I will show you one other thing real quick. Yo.
Hey, on that Smart Plan, so all you did was select the Smart Plan and then emails get sent out anyway?
Every 2 weeks, as long as you have an email and they're assigned to a neighborhood, they will get a link to their own custom site. Yes.
Okay. And like, but what about the content that goes in? You don't have to create the content inside it?
Nope. It's just an email that says, here's your neighborhood update, and it'll have a list of properties in the areas that you've selected. And then if they click on anything, it'll take them to their own site. And that site looks like this. Let's take a look. I don't know if I have to reshare. Can you see what the website?
Yeah, I can see it.
So you notice, look, these are all the neighborhoods I just assigned. Right?
Can you scroll down? There you go.
Right? So I can scroll the map. There's me, right? They can ask information. They can go in and take a look at listings. And, you know, since we're on this topic, I'll just show you real quick what a listing looks like. This is your website, guys. You all have this through Command, okay? So here's their site. Here's the property. They can go in and browse photos, right? Just like all the other apps and websites, etc. Right? I want to show you this though. This is kind of slightly advanced, but it's so important. It's so important. This site right here that has these specific neighborhoods is only for the contact that I just made, right? And this is what we call a one-to-one experience or a Netflix experience. And what that means is every single person you add into Command, when they get the email or they get a link to this site, they're only going to see the neighborhoods that they want to see, that they have been assigned to either by themselves or that you assigned them to. And the next contact in your records is going to see something completely different. And that's what we want. We want a one-to-one experience, right? Netflix. If all of us were to go to Zillow.com right now, we'd all see the exact same thing. But if we all logged into our own Netflixes right now, they would be all completely different based on our watching habits. That's kind of the beautiful thing about where technology is headed and where we want to be focused on with Command, okay? So that's our neighborhood snapshots. They can add themselves to their neighborhoods as well on there, okay? So take a look at that.
And the question. Hey, I'm sitting here trying to do the address.
Yep.
And so I've entered in the address, and then I go to the Smart Plans and then add, but there's nothing there for me to add them to.
Yep. I'm going to show you why.
How to do it again one more time?
I'll show you why right now.
Okay.
So when you first log into Command, you won't have any Smart Plans when you click the Smart Plans tab.
Okay.
You need to go over here on the left, and you need to go down to Smart Plans right here, okay?
Okay.
And when it says My Smart Plans, yours is probably going to be empty, right?
Right.
So you go to library, and then you got to add the smart plans that you want to add. So you'll go find that biweekly neighborhood nurture, and you'll click add. And once you do that, it's going to go into My Smart Plans. Okay.
Okay.
So that way you only have smart plans that you want.
Got
By
it.
the way,
Okay. Thank you.
just last week, KW announced the ability to publish smart plans. And you can see in here that these are all brand new that are created. The top ones are all from KW, the initial ones that launched. Everything else down here are all the new smart plans that people all across the country are going to start creating that you can use, right? So like this guy, Marty, has a 66-day Facebook lead follow-up smart plan that he shared, and a bunch of agents have rated it 5 stars. And you can now use that yourself, right? And if you guys are really crafty and really good, in the future, you'll be able to create your own smart plans. You can create your own smart plans now, but in the future, you could create your own and you could share them all across KW's network, and you could actually charge for it. You could actually charge for it and say, here's an incredibly converting Zillow smart plan, but you got to pay $5 for it, right? So anyways. All right, that's how you create a smart plan. I did want to show you one last thing in contacts here. So I'm going to go back and find myself. Remember I said you can add a neighborhood? And remember I used our sample person here, was going to move to Nebraska, right? If I zoom out, I can go find Nebraska on here. Here's where I look like an idiot. Do I know where Nebraska is? There it is. Okay, good. Whew. All right, so there we go, right? And I can actually assign my clients to neighborhoods out of state, right? So I'm going to zoom in on Omaha here. I have no idea what Omaha's like. Heard it's great. And I'm just going to assign this person to some out-of-state smart plan or out-of-state neighborhoods too, right? So when I have people that either live out of state or want to move out of state, their weekly emails, they can get, right, these new ones that I just assigned for Columbus Park, Lynch Park, Harvey Leavenworth, right? So now when they get their bi-monthly email, not only will they see their neighborhood, they can see neighborhoods they're interested in, they may want to move to, right? So you can keep track of different areas. And you can, again, I recommend you all add yourself to this, add your own address to this, and then go find some neighborhoods that you're interested in and go check it out, right?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So if you do this and you set them up with, say they're moving to Idaho and you don't know the area, so you click on all those neighborhoods and then they're getting these emails biweekly. If there's neighborhoods that they are not interested in, can they remove those neighborhoods, or do they have to tell me to?
They can go in here, click their preview, and let's find out. That's a great question. I haven't had that one come up. I know they can add their own neighborhoods right here. Let's see. It might not let me do it because I'm logged into my own account. The answer is I don't know. My guess is when you click this add neighborhood, if I was not logged in, can I log out here? I'll have to play with that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of that answer. So I'm going to go with a solid maybe.
Okay.
All right. I wish I had a better answer for you.
That's okay. I just was curious if they can edit theirs on their end if they're not interested in certain neighborhoods.
Yeah, I know they can add. So my assumption is if I click this add, it's going to allow me to remove them, kind of like these X's right here, right? So I can take them off that one. I think they'll be able to do the same thing. All right, let me see where we are. So we just looked at how to add somebody into command. We just looked at how to get into your marketing profile. We just looked at how to add a neighborhood, how to add a smart plan. I'm going to drop a link into the chat for how to get to commands, agent.kw.com. That's there for you as well. And let's keep going, guys. Let's move on. Okay. So there's a few other things technology-wise that I want to show you in a moment here. So before we go on, before we go on, okay, we just looked at some of the basics of tech here with Keller Williams. And so my question to you is, what are some ahas that you just saw from that demonstration?
That I've
I
been
had no
working
idea.
way too hard. And I could have been working a lot smarter.
That's a great aha. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
I have spent so many hours entering contacts into this computer, and I had no idea how to set up the emails. So that is so helpful. So I'm very grateful for that.
Awesome. I love it. What else? What else? Some other ahas.
That you don't need an address to add them to neighborhoods.
Yep. Just need an area, cross streets, neighborhood, anything will work. Yeah. What else, guys and gals? Give me some more ahas.
For me, basically just, you know, seeing the possibilities with my current database and finally using the smart plans, because I just you know, I have information, but I just, you know, didn't know what I'm doing with it. And seeing this now, I'm pretty grateful I signed on today.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, I want you guys just
here.
Yeah,
All
right
right.
on you. Thanks, man. Good. So go for it. Yeah, please.
As a new agent, with just getting things going, this smart plan thing, it helps with, you know, with the leverage part, because I'm so new. Being able to send people that I've been talking to and reaching out to on social media gives them something to see, to kind of help water the seeds that I've been planting. So it's really simple, pretty much, once you enter into command.
It doesn't have to be hard, right? And I do want you guys to look just real quickly at one other thing on the command screen here. When you enter somebody, that little green bar is your health score, the contact health score. And if I go back to on this screen, or no, let's go back to the home screen. It's going to tell you the health of your entire database. And health means, do you have the information that you need, right? So like if you have a name and a phone number for people, that's good, but it ain't enough. That's why we need the neighborhood that they live in or want to move to. That's why we need the email address. So I'm always telling you guys about it, but it's so important to be updating your database with this information, because otherwise you're missing channels of communication, right? And if we go back to that slide, the bigger picture of what the Keller platform looks like, it started with data, right? You guys need to know who your people are, where do they live, what methods can you communicate with them, social media, email, direct mail, right? If you don't have an address, you can't get them hooked up with the neighborhood, right? So you notice in my database, my overall health is pretty good compared to other agents, but I'm missing the vast majority of addresses and the vast majority of neighborhoods. So I got a lot of work to do to get that dialed in, right? And it's kind of interesting. Like I can compare myself to everybody in my market center, or even agents in the entire state, right? Or all of Keller Williams, or all agents in a production bracket above mine, right? So it's kind of interesting. This is the big data that I talked to you guys about. So anyways, don't want to dwell too much about that, but I do want you to understand data is the future. This is what we need to know. If you don't have the data about your own database, then we can't communicate to people and generate the interest and stay in front of them so that we earn their mind share. So when they're ready to move, they think about us. Okay. All right, let's keep going here. So I want to show you a couple of other things on this. Another site that we maintain is kwconnect.com. KW Connect, which can't be reached. Great. Let's try it again. Okay, so I want to show you this site for a couple of reasons. There is a massive amount of training and information in Connect. Okay, Connect is a major component of your Keller platform. If you want to find anything, just click the search button. right? The little magnifying glass and type in whatever you want to find right now. What I want to show you right this second is if I go to Ignite 2.0, okay, you can search for Ignite 2.0 right here. It's probably going to make me log in a second, but the entire course that we're looking at is right here, Ignite 2.0 Lab. And if I click that and I scroll down participant resources, that's you guys. Right here at the top, Ignite Toolkit. Ignite Toolkit. When you click this link, it's going to automatically download a list of files. It's going to download scripts. It's going to download presentations. It's going to download offer cover letters. It's going to download all kinds of things that you're going to need to use in the course. Okay, so that's one thing, Ignite Toolkit. If I scroll down, all of our classes are here as well. So you can download the PDFs of every class that we're going to do. Okay, we're going to do 1 through 9. We're not going to do number 10, Market Center specifics on either one, because every one of our market centers handles this in a slightly different way. Okay, so that's where you can go. And I will actually drop this link in the chat as well for all to access. You're probably going to need to log in at some point. So just be prepared to log in, okay? So that is another big portion of your resources. You know, you're gonna have lead sheets in there, pre-listing package, you know, showing homes, job aids, you know, planning your day checklists, all kinds of stuff there, all right? Okay, let's keep going. Let me get back to my slides here. You guys would not believe how many windows I have open right now, so bear with me. All right, there we go. All right, so back to our slides. Okay, so we looked at database, we talked about Sphere, we talked about adding contacts into Command. We just looked at the Ignite toolkit, and now we're talking about preparing for success. Okay, so in our Spark classes, these are the learning modules we're going to talk about. So today was Fuel Your Career. On Thursday, Eddie is going to talk about lead generation being the core of your business. So he's going to get deep on that. I saw you on here, Eddie. Thanks for joining. And then we'll move into Friday, Powerful Language, which is like scripting. That'll be Friday. I'll be doing that class. Next week, we'll move into database, and then we'll be looking at like setting your goals, creating and delivering a value proposition. And then we'll move into finding and win buyers, finding seller leads. And then we'll end the Spark portion on a day in the life of a real estate agent. Okay, so that's kind of where we are headed. Every module will be offered, and over the next basically 3 weeks for Spark on our Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday classes. Okay, and then what will happen is we'll move into the next portion, which is elementals. And this is when we'll really get into the hands-on of prospecting, the difference between prospecting and marketing. Open houses, even open houses in a virtual world right now, seller appointments, buyer consultations. We'll look at making and receiving offers, negotiating the deal, finances, P&Ls, and contract to close. Okay, and like I said, the market center specifics are going to be more handled in our orientations, since we have 3 different offices on the call right now. Okay, all right. The next piece of this, Daily 10-4, okay? Now, here's where your job is. So Ignite is a class, you learn, but then you have to apply, right? You have to execute. And we always say that knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. You got to do something with what you've learned, okay? So here's where you actually are taking action. And this is what your habits are every single day. We call it the Daily 10-4, 10 being a minimum in all these different categories. So the first activity is adding contacts into your database. Every day you need to focus on adding 10 new people into Command and getting them on a smart plan based on their neighborhood. And then every day you need to speak with 10 people in your database. By the way, these can be the same people. So you talk to 10 people in your database, and then you enter the 10 people into Command. And then you follow up. Write 10 notes to people you've recently connected with. Now, with this, Doesn't necessarily have to be a handwritten note to that person, especially if you don't have their address. This could be a direct message. This could be a text, right? But it's an outward bound message to somebody that you've connected with recently, whether it's through social or your phone calls or what have you, okay? And then number 4 on here is preview 10 homes per week, okay? So we're not really gonna go out and do this physically for the most part, just because it's hard to show right now anyways. So at least, and I'm gonna change this, you guys need to be looking at least 10 properties every day in the MLS. Every day you need to be looking at 10 properties. Previewing and looking at real estate is crucial because it's going to help you become really, really good at valuing and pricing property. You need to be looking at enough homes every day to know how much money will buy how much in what areas, what homes can be worth. Like, you should know this stuff almost off the top of your head. When someone says they have a 3.2 and 90815, you should be able to, have a rough idea of what that home could sell for, right? So previewing is how that's going to happen, right? It's a very important part of your job. So these 4 components are daily activities: 10 contacts, 10 new people into command, 10 outbound notes, and 10 previews on the MLS per day. Any questions about that? Okay.
Can you hold that on there for just a quick second?
Yep, no problem. No problem. Remember, guys and gals, Ignite is not about coming to class, spending an hour, and then not doing anything with it, right? It's doing the job. We explain the framework and the basics of how we create a database and how we build a real estate business. Well, now you got to actually practice, do the work, right? So make your 10 contacts over the phone. And by the way, contacts is phone calls, right? 10 contacts, 10 people into command.
10 real, whether it's a positive, negative, or whatnot, whether it's
I don't care if they say yes or no to buying or selling a house.
Yeah,
It's just somebody you speak to, whether it's in your database, in your sphere, a cold call, a lead follow-up, whatever it is. You got to speak to at least 10 people every day.
Okay.
And then get in the MLS or use your command site to look at 10 properties a day, and pay attention, follow along, see what's selling, what's going active, what's going pending, what's closing escrow. Okay. Other things you guys should be focusing on in addition to the daily 10-4, which is the most important thing that you should be doing every day, first thing in the morning. In addition to this, you should be reviewing some of the materials in that toolkit, that link I just posted in the chat. You should be reading the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and you should be going into Connect and looking at various command videos, role plays, things of that nature.
Hey, give that to me again.
Read the book, MREA. Read through the toolkit, right?
Yeah.
Look at all the materials in the toolkit.
The Ignite toolkit.
Yep. And then get into Connect and watch videos on command and other topics.
Okay, that could be the 6 a.m. practice thing I do.
There you go.
Since I'm not surfing anymore. All right.
So like I said, guys, the rest of today is not time off, okay? It's about going back, thinking about your goals, and then doing your 10-4, right? The opportunity now is to move on to doing your daily 10-4 and making this thing happen, okay? So as we wrap up today, we always recap with ahas. So I want you to get into your student manual and just scroll to the very last page. Just scroll to the very last page in your student manual. And I want us to do this exercise. We always end on this. I want you to write, based on today's course, based on what we talked about today, I want you to write down, how has your thinking changed? How has your thinking changed? I want you to write a note down. How has your thinking changed? And then right below that, what do you feel differently about? And what was meaningful to you today? And then below that is how will your behaviors be different going forward? Meaning, what are you going to do? What are the action items going forward? And then lastly, tools. What tools do you need or have? What models or systems will you use? And how will they make you accountable? What tools, models, or systems will you use? And how will they make you accountable?
What was that last one? I couldn't
Last
write.
one is, what tools, models, or systems will you
Okay.
use? And how will they make you accountable? Okay, so now that we have that, I have stopped the screen share. I got all of your lovely faces. Well, some of your lovely faces on my screen. I want to hear. I want to hear. So let's chime in, and I want to hear. How has your thinking changed? Someone go ahead and give me what they wrote down, or how has your thinking changed based on today's combo?
Hey, Nick, it's Hugo. For me, my thing has changed as far as me giving myself a mental break. Like I just really been overdoing it. So simplifying and just using the command system and really taking the time to make the phone calls, even if it's been 2+ years since I last spoke with someone. So just making it more about the person and creating a relationship, and then leveraging that to information that I need to help them out.
Love it. I love it. That's great. Yeah, keep it simple, right? We don't have to overthink this stuff. Don't make it too hard. Talk to people, show them you care, earn their mind share, and then sell them a house when they tell you, right? Not that hard. Not that hard. Thank you for that. Who else? Who else had a thinking shift based on our conversation today? I know you all did. So tell me what you wrote down, I guess is the real question.
There's a lot of hidden money in my contacts list.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. A lot of hidden money, right? It's hiding in plain sight. Isn't that interesting? So, Hugh, can I just pick on you real quick? Because I know we spoke yesterday.
Yeah, no
And,
problem.
Just starting out, didn't make the calls the first week, and then you jumped on the phone and made your calls. And what happened?
I've got 3 to 5 people who are actually looking to buy. One of them is looking to try to buy now if you can qualify, and then 2 others are looking to buy in the next 2 to 3 months. So I was a bit surprised. I was just trying to just spread the word that, hey, I'm doing real estate now. Let me know if you're ever interested in the future. They're like, no, I'm ready now. So it's pretty cool.
There you go. So, I love that. I love that. And I always ask the question, is it really that easy? Guys, the answer is yes. Pick up the phone, call your people. The beautiful thing about real estate, we don't have to sell, right? We don't have to sell owning real estate. People already want it. People want to be owners of property. They want to build wealth in real estate, right? We're not selling shoes here, right? We're not trying to convince people to try to buy something that they may not want. So just make the calls, right? It's easy. And, if you start with the care calls and then you bring up real estate, they're going to want to talk about it. I promise you. So thank you. I appreciate that, Hugh. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. What do you feel differently about, and what was meaningful to you today? Somebody chime in on that. What did you guys write down for
I
this?
have something.
Please.
I feel like I've been very scattered in my mindset, just because I do have so many contacts, but those contacts are very spread out through Southern California. And now that I have that tool with the neighborhoods, I have kind of not reached out because I felt like I couldn't be that in tune to so many different areas of Southern California. But now I feel like with that tool, I definitely can put all those neighborhoods in to all the different contacts, whether it's San Diego or it's Redlands or it's Orange County. And I will feel like I have more information and knowledge to share with all those contacts. So that is so extremely helpful to me because I have definitely felt overwhelmed with not just knowing my neighborhood, but knowing all of my contacts are so spread out. So that's been super helpful for me.
I love that. I love that. I get the question often where someone will ask me, you know, should I call my people that are out of state, out of county, out of city, whatever? Yeah. Every single person you know should be thinking about you first for real estate. Doesn't matter where they live on the planet, right? And pretty soon, by the way, Command, you saw I could pick stuff out of state. They announced that we'll be able to do that internationally in a relatively short order. So you'll even be able to market to people out of country. And you know, the whole point of that is even if you don't sell them a house in a different area, you'll be able to at least generate a referral. So thank you for that. That's great feedback. Okay, somebody else. What do you feel differently or what was meaningful for you today? What did you guys write down? So I start calling people out.
Hey, Nick.
Hi.
For me, the statistics that you put out with the sellers and the buyers just made me think I just need to keep in touch more.
Yep. It's really that easy. Just keep in touch. Let people know who you are. Ask them how they are. And that's exactly right. I love it. Thank you, Andrea, for that. Okay, number 3. What are you going to do? What is the action? This should be pretty simple, guys. What are the action items that you are going to execute on? What did you guys write down?
I'm going to go back through all of my contacts. I'm going to add those neighborhoods and set up the automatic emails to go out.
That's simple, right? Get the neighborhood and put them on the emails.
Same for me. I'm just going to make sure I time block in the morning to just call people and at least get their emails so I could set them up as well with the neighborhood watch smart plan. I've done it a few times and it's been so successful. Like I kind of look down upon it. I'm like, why an email? But a lot of my friends reached out like, hey, I heard you're doing these newsletters. Like, definitely hook me up with one. So I was like, I was surprised how effective they are. So
sure,
definitely.
You know, there's a pretty big aha there. Email, is it effective, right? I mean, I get a couple hundred emails a day. So do they work? Whether or not somebody clicks on the link and goes to the site, etc., it's almost irrelevant. The point is, it's a touch, it's an impression. It's one more time that they see your name, they search the words real estate a couple times a month, okay? So absolutely, it's just one more impression. It's like when people look at your social media and they look at your story, whether they interact with it or not, it doesn't matter. The fact is they see you, they see branding, and it's building that mind share. And you do this for a long period of time and everybody's gonna remember who you are and what you do. So great feedback. Okay, last question. 2 more people to respond, please. What tools, models, or systems are you going to use? This should be pretty easy.
Command.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Command, I heard. Command, good. Yes. What else?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Move forward with that daily 10-4. I mean,
Yep.
it's just 10. I mean, I already set a challenge with my friend, my 6 a.m. club, and we're like 10 care calls per day for the end of the month. That's 70 care calls. That's, you know, just do it. You know.
It's awesome.
I'm going to use the MLS to get neighborhoods, a better knowledge of neighborhoods where I'm going to be doing my marketing. So I'll use the MLS better to get to know those neighborhoods.
Cool.
But also, applying Command for my current database. I mean, because you just create the smart plan, plug in a couple neighborhoods that you know that they're interested in, and then let it fly. You know, it's pretty.
Love it. It's that easy. Yeah. Okay, folks. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up for the day? Any questions, comments, concerns I can help you with?
Yes, Nick, I have one question about the smart plans. So when you put someone on a smart plan, is it basically like just residential? Like, you know how some people are actually interested into like manufactured homes or even commercial property. Is there a way to set that up? Can you customize it that way?
So when you actually go into a website, onto your site, you can create custom searches. I don't know if commercial property is in there yet, but I'm sure mobile home condo is for sure.
Okay.
And that would be more directly through your site, or even better would be your app. If you can
Okay.
get the app in their hands, they can set up their own custom search. They can draw neighborhoods, and they can set it up to give them alerts as soon as things go live. So that's pretty
Nice.
cool. So I would use your app for that.
Okay, nice.
Any other
Thank
questions?
you.
Anything else? Yeah, you bet. Okay, guys, we will resume. Mr. Eddie Habash will take over on Thursday. I will be back on Friday, 10 to 12. I'll make sure we post the participant guides, but I posted the link on where you guys can download all that stuff, the toolkits. You know how to get to command. Reach out if you need me in the future. For those of you in Long Beach, I'll be doing group coaching at 3:30, and we'll do kind of a mega camp recap. And I am looking forward to seeing you all on our next session. So have a great day and do the work. That's how you're going to make the money. All right.
Thanks, Nick.
I'll see you all
Thank you,
soon.
Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Have a good day.